Under Further Review is back at you. We got John, we got Joe, Steve here. No Mike this week, but football's back, NFL's back, and while we're recording this, it's like Christmas Day because Thursday night football is happening. The Cowboys and Eagles are live as we speak. The Cowboys are up 14-7. Javonte Williams with 2 touchdowns. He's back from the dead from his ACL injury I think he had last year. And Dak Prescott's lighting it up, which Joe regrets because he has him on his bench in a fantasy league. But let's start with what happened before the game, before they even had a snap. So Jalen Carter spit on Dak Prescott, and they ejected him from the game. So I've been looking at some rumblings throughout social media. And, of course, Stephen A. Smith instantly comes up on my timeline. But he had the ethical thought process behind this where he said, this man should have more than in an ejection. He should be suspended several games. What do you think about that with someone who spit on another player? Do you think that's warranting more than being ejected from this game? That means he'll be not only suspended this game because it's the full game, but multiple others. Oh, it was definitely like pre-game back and forth dispute, which this isn't the first time he's done that because I remember during the Rams game in the playoffs last year, he got into it with one of the defensive players from the Rams. So this is a pretty normal occurrence for him, I feel like.
What happened to Bill Romanowski when he did it? Did he get suspended?
Yeah,
That's the first thing that came to mind.
we would have to look into that. I mean, it's a good point. I think I remember that being on like Sports Center, right? It was like all over the place when it first happened. I think he might have
We're
been
fucking old.
suspended if
That was 1997.
yeah.
I think 8.
I saw
Well, it was basically suspended for this whole game.
yeah,
So
ejected
I'd
before.
say maybe
I
at
believe.
most he might get another game, but I don't think he's going to get anything more than that. He'll get the maximum fine just because the league needs to send an example.
Yeah. The one thing that I will like dispute with that, because at first I instantly thought suspension, at least 1 game, maybe 2, for spitting on another player. That's like the utmost disrespect towards someone is spitting on them. But the Eagles play the Chiefs next Sunday. It's the rematch of the Super Bowl. I feel like the NFL is going to do everything possible to try to get Jalen Carter on the field and get the best players available for the rematch.
He just appeals it.
Appeal system, yeah.
If he appeals it, he plays next week.
Jersey. It wasn't face. He didn't get
What if
naughty
it was
with
in
it.
his mouth and he swallowed it without like breaking eye contact? Would you believe more or less in Dak Prescott?
I would think he was a little crazy. He had a little freak in him.
That's a good thing. That's what you'd want in a quarterback.
I mean, at this point in his career, do you think he's freaky like that?
I've never thought about whether Dak Prescott would swallow somebody else's spit until tonight, and the jury's still out. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only reason I think he would is because he's trying to prove himself to his teammates again. It's like, yeah, I was injured all last season. Give me all that spit.
Yeah,
Like I'm back. Dak Prescott's back, baby.
Give me all that spit.
Yeah, like he would swallow it and just like stare down Jalen Carter in the face and be like, "That's all you got?"
He's like, I know what you had for dinner.
Ooh, a pregame burger.
You should print T-shirts. That's pretty good. I want all that spit.
Yeah, I'm ready for round 2, baby. But yeah, I mean, Carter's gone. That's the most electric defensive player on the Eagles right now. And I have a coworker who's a diehard Eagles fan, and I'm always like, "What do you think of the Eagles this season?" And instantly he's like, "Jalen Carter's the man." Like that's the first thing he says every time because that's how high. Like that's the high praise that every Eagles fan has for Jalen Carter after his monster season last year and the playoffs especially, where he just like it felt like he was in the backfield nonstop. You can't really throw a double team at him because there's several other great players on that Eagles defense, but also he's breaking through that double team. He's the real deal, Jalen Carter, and that's the next guy that they're going to sign to a long-term contract. And yes, 100%. They won't even think about trading him. I think if you go Eagles, like who they're going to sign in the future and try to keep on a contract, it's Jalen Carter number 1. Cooper DeJean has to be number 2, right? The exciting whites.
Yeah, and Blankenship.
Yeah, Reed Blankenship's a big one. I don't know. Like I feel like they would want to keep the Reed Blankenship on the team just because of the chemistry that they all have on defense. But we've seen it in the past where the Eagles front office has no problem moving on from players that they feel like they can replace eventually. And I feel like I feel like a safety you can replace as opposed to a defensive lineman where most GMs believe in building from the inside out. It's so important. But I mean, as we speak, the Cowboys are up 14-7. Javonte Williams with 2 scoring touchdowns. I mean, the entire preseason, it was who was going to be the starting running back in the backfield. I think a lot of people did lean towards Williams because of what his potential's been since he entered the league on the Broncos, and this is kind of like a new life for him on the Cowboys. What do you think of this Cowboys team in general? What's the identity of this team? They just got rid of Micah Parsons. Obviously, that was the big news story last week when he went to the Packers. Prescott's back. They brought in George Pickens. They went and signed one of their cornerbacks. Forget who's the cornerback they just signed. I don't know if someone can look that up, but I remember seeing that last week. But I mean, for the most part, this is the team from the playoffs a few years ago, right? Minus Micah Parsons and Martin on offensive line. Yeah,
I think even with Parsons, they were sort of going to be like the Bengals. Just they were just going to hope to win like a 35-31 game. I think even with Parsons, their defense wasn't great. Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing before I saw about 10 wins because I was just confident Dak Prescott would win comeback player of the year. I mean, his weapons are like 5 deep on the outside, with an average running game at best. But I thought at least with like decent protection, they'd be able to get in like the high 20s per game. Now I'm seeing like they're a very exciting 7 or 8 win team,
yeah.
if I had to guess.
I mean, they're moving the ball against the Eagles, and I know Carter's out, but the Eagles do have a very good defense, even with him not in the lineup. But obviously, you want him in the lineup. John, when we did our NFC East preview, you were not high on the Cowboys, and it sounds like you're even lower on them now that Parsons is gone. What were some of the reasons behind that?
I don't know. I just got major Nathaniel Hackett vibes from Schottenheimer for more reasons than one. Not like I definitely think Schotty's more competent, but like if the Cowboys don't win early, I mean, now that Mike is not here, I think it's going to be easier for Shotty to coach
Yeah,
without that dominant personality in the locker room and just like a locker room that's seemingly trying to find itself with a new coach that's trying to find himself, which is probably going to be better in the long term if you think about it.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think I said Cowboys are going to win 5 games. And right now, it's looking like they're going to win a lot more than 5. Their offense definitely looks great so far. Dak looks good. They're moving the ball up the field, and yeah. But there's something about the Cowboys this year. I think this is the year where they bottom out.
Well, the Cowboys
Oh,
would love to see it. The most random person to
I
ever
think
score
Jalen Hurts
70
already
plus
has about
touchdowns.
50 yards
Who does?
rushing. Jalen Hurts. Well,
I
he's
saw that.
rushed the ball so much this whole drive. He just went for another first down for over probably 15.
That's so big for
Yeah.
whoever has him for fantasy. Him rushing like that, he's gonna do well passing. I mean, there's too many weapons on that offense.
Let's see. He's 19. He started. He got to the 8. Yeah.
Yeah,
So like 11.
yeah. I mean, when you can use your legs, that's why mobile quarterbacks are so inexpensible. I don't know if that's the right word or even a word, but
Indispensable.
yeah, spendable, right? I don't know if I'm using the right word. That's why they're so important, I should say. That was really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, mobile quarter like Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, they're all going in second, third round. People just are high on them. Even like Fields on the Jets, like obviously not a top 20 quarterback even, and he's going in round 8, 9, stuff like that. But
Yeah, that's the definition of an insurance pick.
yeah, I mean, you're banking on him rushing like crazy, like Lamar
He just
Jackson
scored.
style rushing and getting a few
Hurts
touchdowns.
just had a rushing touchdown.
Another one?
Yeah.
Jeez,
Jesus
yeah.
Christ.
That's 12 points from just touchdowns alone for Hurts. Whoever picked him is happy tonight. We didn't get to talk about Parsons that much. We'll briefly go through that, but what a story all through training camp. So I wish Mike was here for this because I was going back and forth with him about it, and it turned into a heated texting conversation between the two of us. So I don't have a side. I will say that much. Although Mike will say that I'm siding with the Cowboys here, which is against what everyone else is doing throughout the media and stuff like that in the NFL. You've seen even rival GMs come out and say, what a terrible move for the Cowboys. I don't like that they waited until a week before the NFL season, but this is how Jerry Jones has always ran his team. Like CeeDee Lamb didn't get a contract until he proved himself, and it wasn't that training camp that he gave out the contract. Dak Prescott had to wait forever to get a contract, and he was doing the same thing with Micah Parsons. I don't like that he tried to like corner him in a room and like try to get him to sign without his agent. But I think Parsons is trying to do the good guy thing where at the end he's like, of course I wanted to stay with the Cowboys. I love that organization now that he's with the Packers in a new situation. But there was some
I
things that
think handing Ezekiel Elliott all that money when he had like 1 foot off the cliff,
yeah.
I think that's probably what set him back a bit.
Yeah, it was
That was a
bad
while ago,
contract.
but I just remember that was like the worst timed running back contract I've ever
Yeah,
seen.
it's been bad contract after bad contract, and I think that's what could make Jones hesitant to sign guys. I mean, Parsons is coming back from an injury last season. Like, are you going to give someone a monster contract after they came back from a season-ending injury? And he's already like, I think the Packers report he had a tight back when he came to uh, their practice field. So, like, obviously, there's still some lingering things for him. He's going to be a monster at the end of the day. And if he's healthy on the field, like that's a steal of a trade that they made. But there was some things, in my opinion, that were coming out. I saw news reports even from
And pass rushers age a lot better than running
they
backs.
do, yeah, for
I mean,
sure.
Julius Peppers had gray pubes and he was still getting a couple sacks here and there.
Did you say great pubes? Okay. But just back to like the story, like, did you see him?
Yes, he did.
Did you see him laying on the training table or the trainer's table during the game, like basically sleeping? He's the only guy on the team that didn't wear a practice jersey. There was a lot of reports that there was entitlement with Parsons. Some people on the team said Dak Prescott wasn't too happy when he didn't rank Dak in his top 10 on his podcast for quarterbacks. So I feel like I don't want to like say he was like a poison to the locker room because like that's not enough reporting to tell me that this guy was not liked by his teammates. I mean, CeeDee Lamb did come out and support him and uh, said that he should get a contract. At the end of the day, players are going to protect each other. You know, like of course they want other guys to get paid because that means they could get paid in the future. I mean,
Unironically, that was like the biggest red flag. That's the biggest layup just to at least include your quarterback in the top 10,
yeah, exactly.
especially when it's not even borderline. I would
I
expect
mean, and we
Colts
said
players.
minus stack even.
Yeah, I mean, I'll
Because
put him like 1 or 2, but I would expect like a Colts player to put Anthony Richardson or Daniel Jones at number 10 just to not rock the boat.
Yeah, I mean Richardson's a different story, but like Prescott, it's not that hard to see if that he's in the top 10 because he is on the cusp of the top 10. When he's healthy, he's at least a top 15 quarterback in the league. 2 years ago, when they made the playoffs, he had to be in the top 10, right, Joe?
Yeah, they won 12 games 3 straight years, and their offense was the driving force of that team.
Yes. So like it's not out of this world if he came out and said, "Yeah, Dak Prescott's one of the best quarterbacks in the league." I mean, it's a lot easier when you're supporting your teammate because at least if it's a ridiculous take, people can come back and be like, "All right, he's trying to amp up his guy a little bit." But I mean, he had a layup there, and he still wanted to be himself. He still wanted to be this like big personality and come out and leave his teammate off his list.
He wanted to be a jerk.
But like
Yeah, I was gonna say he's being a
that's
real
the difference
asshole.
between
Yeah.
some of these guys that are doing it the correct way, like podcasting. And yes, I bet Micah gets views, but is he getting views the proper way, or is he trying to stir the pot? Kind of. I mean, it's a little different than like the Kelsey brothers who bring people on and they have really respectful interviews and they don't really talk about controversial subjects, you know? And then there's this podcast where you're kind of leaving your teammates off list that they could easily be on. Maybe we're being a little too hard on Micah. I mean,
He needs to get Taylor Swift on there to talk about zone coverages. That's how you get views.
I mean, it's the most watched podcast. Probably has to be, if not ever, it has to be like a top 5 most listened
It's
to
one of them.
podcast.
Yeah.
Definitely one of them.
I think Cat Williams on Club Shay. That's the gold standard.
Snowden when he did that
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah. That was probably like 40 million right there. We'll get there. We're close.
Yeah, we're not too far off from that. Is Parsons top 3 defensive lineman in the league in your opinions?
I'm not qualified to give that opinion, but I'll say yes.
Yes.
Just to make the Cowboys look bad.
Who are you putting him in a group with? Parsons. Obviously, Myles Garrett.
Reggie White.
But I'm talking right now.
Jesus.
Joe keeps going back to
I
Reggie
mean-
White. He must have like an attraction to him.
I'd put him in a group with 2011 Calais Campbell.
Okay.
Are we talking like all linemen or just like defensive end, pass rushers, hybrid guys?
Well, I would say defensive ends because
Okay.
I think
Yes. Then yes.
I think that's what makes him special is he's able to be on the edge, but he can also go into like a kind of a line, like you talked about the hybrid position where he can go set up as a linebacker and still get to the quarterback. I mean, he's not dropping back into coverage. He's his job is to be on the field and rush the quarterback every time, but he has the ability to line up anywhere. He can even line up at deep, D tackle.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna say no. He's not.
Who are you putting in front of him?
Because there's Crosby, Hendrickson.
Max Crosby, I like that.
What's his name? The dude from Minnesota?
Van
Ginkel?
No. I mean,
my guy, Aiden Hutchinson.
Aiden Hutchinson. That's 3 right there. And I'm sure there's other people. And it all really has to do, and I hate to validate Jerry, but
Chris
he's
Jones?
kind of right. Again, another guy that can play both run and pass. Micah sucks against the run.
The Cowboys' defense sucks against the run.
Yeah, like people are saying how, for you guys, how are people going to go at Abdul Carter easily? You just run the ball right at him to start. See if he can hold up.
Yeah, I mean, guys like that.
Dexter Lawrence takes up like 2 people.
Yeah.
That's originally why I asked the question of whether are we talking D tackles too, because he is an absolute moose.
Yeah. I mean, but John, you have a point. I mean, like guys like Abdul Carter and Micah Parsons, they're not looking to rip down the line. They're looking to just charge the quarterback up field.
Exactly. They're liabilities a lot of times in the run game.
Yeah, and that's I don't know why people stopped doing the delayed handoffs. You don't see it as much in the NFL because that can really beat a blitz like that. You
only see it a lot against the Y9 when everyone's spread out. They just let everyone come from all angles.
Yeah. I mean, I think, in my opinion, like,
or if the Giants are facing a 3rd and 14, then they want to pick up 5 yards.
Isn't that a quarterback sneak?
The last 2 or 3 years. Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else on the Cowboys? Eagles seem to be.
I think that was a joke I used when Ben McAdoo was coaching. That might not even be true anymore.
Ben McAdoo.
I just remember.
I don't even want to live those days.
Eli's last couple of years, like on 3rd and 11s, our line was so bad we'd just do delayed handoffs and just wave the white flag. Those were good years. That was fun.
Oh, I remember that. That was like was that the Jets game where it was just like a punting battle and that like 3rd and 15 they would still run the ball.
That was the grossest game ever.
Yeah. That was
12-10
Tommy
final score or
Cutlets.
something.
Yeah,
they wouldn't let him throw the ball.
That wasn't McAdoo though. I think that was Judge, right? Joe Judge.
No, that was Dable.
Was that Dable? Yeah, that was bad. But that was only he had nothing else. He couldn't do anything else. I mean,
yeah, he barely practiced during the week.
But and as much as
kid that fucking barely practiced in training camp and that out there.
As much as Cutlets is a fan favorite, he's like a practice squad guy. I don't really.
Is he the backup in New England?
I think
or is he the practice squad?
I think they might have signed him to be like 3rd string. I could be wrong there, but
wait, no, didn't they claimed him off waivers, so they have to keep him on the active roster all year.
Yeah. So hopefully
he's probably the 3rd string.
Hopefully Drake May doesn't go down this season. That'll be bad times for the Patriots.
I would have loved to be a fly in the wall during those practices with Vrabel and McDaniels going at it.
Oh yeah, Vrabel's the guy. He's a beast.
Just because I remember like the interviews with Belichick and shit from back in the day saying how Vrabel would always like be messing with McDaniels even back then.
I mean,
now it's like
that makes too much sense.
He's such a goofball, McDaniels.
He just hits the vape. He doesn't care.
McDaniels or Vrabel?
Oh, McDaniels. Maybe Vrabel.
No. I'm talking about Josh, not Mike, not the Dolphins head coach.
Oh, I was like, I didn't even know he was on the Patriots.
No, Josh McDaniels.
The one who was the Raiders coach for
that was the OC with Belichick. He's back.
McDaniels has been on and off the Patriots for like 30 years.
Yeah. He's like fucking, what's his name? Who's
Matt
the
Patricia?
quarterback of the Broncos?
John Elway?
No, not Bubba Brister either.
Bo Nix?
Bo Nix is like the Bo Nix of the NFL with Bo Nix in terms of Bo Nix in college.
Bouncing around. Yeah.
Which is fine. You can win with that.
Yeah.
With Bo Nix if that's all he is. Like,
well, more importantly for him,
yeah. You better have a good announcing voice or he's fucked.
Dude,
I was breaking down his tape, though. There wasn't a lot that impressed me. I thought he was decent, but not.
It's a lot of it's
crazy.
coaching, man.
Well, and their defense kept them in a lot.
yeah, I mean, Sean Payton.
That'll be our AFC West preview, though. We'll save that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you brought up. I wanted to talk a little college. You brought up Belichick. What a bad first showing for North Carolina and Bill Belichick. It was almost like laughable, embarrassing. Like fans were leaving and like flooding the gates like early fourth quarter. I mean, to lose that way in your first game, I don't know. Like, is college that big of a difference of a game than the NFL? That like a NFL?
Maybe TCU is a juggernaut.
I mean, could be.
Or maybe Freddie Kitchens sucks as a coach.
But also,
that quarterback had some of the slowest developing out routes I've ever seen. That was the most. You saw the pick six coming before he even planted his feet.
Yeah, and he stared it down the whole way. Like you could have picked it off. But
thank you, Steve. Do you think Michael Jordan and Lawrence Taylor said hi to Bill on the way out, or they just sort of like Irish exited? It's like,
yeah, I think they just exited.
Maybe it's not the right time to say hi to him.
Bill probably said hi to them when he picked up Jordan from their room after the game.
True. She was on the sideline, right?
Yeah, she was talking to him in the middle of the game. I was like, what the fuck
crazy.
is this?
That's freaking crazy. A regular season game, and is she the fiance now or his girlfriend?
Dude, she's a freaking CIA asset if I've ever seen.
Yeah, she's freaking
honeypot.
You might as well give her the headphones and let her call into the huddle.
She probably has one. She probably has a little ear thing in her ear to listen to the plays.
So guys, we're gonna run right with the ball. That's what everyone's gonna do. But it was just it was bad, and a lot of people are bringing up how Belichick had to bring in 75 new guys or something like that on the roster. But that's not an excuse. You know, New Mexico played Michigan this weekend, and they actually played them pretty tough. And they had a new head coach. They had to bring in 75 guys, and they looked like a team that were together for a lot longer than a few months. You know, let's put it that way.
Is that what you're telling yourself? That Michigan's second half defense wasn't that bad?
I think if you want to talk the Michigan game, which I did want to talk Michigan because Underwood has been a big topic across college football and how he looked as a freshman. But the defense, the one drive that they scored a touchdown outside of the trick play drive, I don't know if you saw that, where he kind of threw the ball on the ground. The running back ended up with it and he threw it to his receiver. That second touchdown drive, I think there was a missed penalty. There was a catch that should have been a no catch. They looked at the replay, but New Mexico got back to the line pretty quick. And there was something else that happened on that drive. That drive should have been non-existent. Unfortunately, it happened. Some of the penalties in the Big House took away the home field advantage for Michigan, but I wanted to stay shortly on Michigan, but Underwood. Did you guys watch Underwood this weekend at all?
I watched the highlights, but I forgot most of it. I'll be honest.
So I'm going to break it down real quick.
What's that, Michigan?
Michigan, New Mexico.
Yeah.
I did not watch a single second.
So I want to break it down real quick because obviously, like, I watch every single Michigan game. I don't care who they're playing. They can be playing New Mexico. It could be Ohio State. So last year, the joke was, like, they didn't really have a quarterback who could throw forward. Like, I think there was games.
That wasn't a joke.
It was realistic, yes. I think there's a lot of things that factored into it. The one thing is the talent of the quarterbacks on the roster. You had Alex Orji, you had Davis Warren, you had Tuttle, I think. Who was the guy who started the Washington game? Was it Jake Tuttle? I forget. You had three quarterbacks.
Newton, the guy I drafted in fantasy?
No, not Newton. But you had three quarterbacks that were not capable to make throws when the receivers were still in their routes, you know? You get what I'm saying? Like, John, you played football. Like, the job of the quarterback is often to throw the ball when the receiver's not looking so that the ball's there when they do turn and, you know, they can catch the ball. I don't think the quarterbacks last year had the talent to do that and the trust and the confidence to do that, to make those throws into those tight windows, to make those throws when their receivers were still breaking in their routes so that it was there when they were ready for it. But also, like, the offensive line did not give them time that they gave Underwood this past weekend. It was a lot better, the offensive line. I think they, with Pip Lindsay, the new offensive coordinator, they had plays ready that got guys like Samaj Morgan, who was on the team last year, involved. They still utilize the tight end, Marlon Klein, I think his name is. McFoley was used. They're back to the run game, which I mean, the guy they got from Alabama, Hayes, he's incredible. And then their backup's going to be good this year. But Underwood, it was just like the poise that as a freshman in game one of his college career to be able to make third down throws into tight windows, to be able to throw it where your receiver's going to take the hit and throwing it on his inside rather than letting him run to it so that he can catch it like this away from the defender, like that purposely happened. The touchdown, the 2-minute drill touchdown to Klein, where Klein was still breaking towards the end zone and he lobbed it up over the defender because he knew Klein was going to be there. Like that was his first ever touchdown throw. There was just like a lot of like impressive things that Underwood did that you understand why he was a 5-star recruit and why he's considered one of the best recruits in a while. So I'm excited. The defense has to sharpen up a little bit going into Oklahoma because Mateer is going to rip them apart if they perform the way they did against New Mexico. But we're not here to talk about Michigan too long. Let's talk Texas Ohio State because I think you guys both watched that game, right? Am I correct with that?
Yeah.
A lot of people.
That was very. I'm very proud of you. That was quick for a Michigan rant.
Yeah,
that was good.
I didn't want to stay on it too long. It was New Mexico. We could talk next week because they have a top 25 showdown with Oklahoma.
And that's our Go Blue report.
What was that?
What's your outlook, by the way? 9-3
for Michigan.
Yeah.
If all goes right, 10-2 and in the playoffs. Look at their schedule this year.
Wow.
Look at their schedule's really not that tough. I mean, Oklahoma's.
Do they play Rutgers?
No, they don't.
God, good. I bet you're relieved.
I would have went to the game just to see them.
That's what I was gonna say.
I think I'm heading up to Maryland though.
Miami, Ohio, or whoever the fuck they played. Pretty good offense.
New Mexico. No, Rutgers this past week. Yeah, that quarterback, that mobile quarterback, he was so good. They didn't have an answer for him.
Looking like Johnny Manziel out there.
Yeah. Heisman hopeful from Miami of Ohio. But let's talk Arch Manning because a lot going into this week, he's in his junior year or his third year in college. I don't know if he redshirted at some point, but it's his third year in college. He's been with Texas in the program for 2 years. It was his first big time start because I know Quinn Ewers got injured last year. There was a tune-up game that he had to start in and he did all right in, but this was his first like on the road hostile environment, playing now the number 1 team in the country. At the time they were in most polls number 2 or 3, the defending national champs. This was like the biggest show me game that you could ever have for a new starting quarterback. A lot of people love Arch Manning because of his last name, and we know the history of the Manning family, obviously, and everybody knows that. But a lot of people made him or gave him the title of generational quarterback before he even took a step this weekend. Was that a little unfair to a young quarterback who hasn't even had an opportunity to pave his way and, make a name for himself?
Oh, I think it's a privilege.
Privilege of the name?
How many kids get that right? No, just a privilege. I mean, take the name away from it. Like, I'm sure, like, he knows, like, people are talking about him. He's not making $6 million nil because he's an influencer. The dude's making $6 million because he's that good of a, prospect. He could fall flat on his face, but no, I mean, it's a privilege to be rated that high, man. It's what you do with it. The kid's been under pressure his whole life. This is nothing different. It's just we've heard of him for so long. We get to see him now. Kind of like similar to like maybe not to the level of LeBron, but it's kind of the same thing. He just has to produce. And this week, whether it was coaching, the team, he played like dick, flat out. His team lost. Big game.
He looked very similar to when and I thought this might have been good for Arch long term. Remember when Georgia was just pushing their shit in last year and they decided on a whim just to throw Arch there for like 3 series?
Yeah. It's not like the first time he's played. He's played before.
Like that's the kind of environment he faced, Saturday, and pretty similar results. Yeah, I thought maybe an offseason of work might have done better, but maybe on the bright side, Texas is like a top 5 defense in
Yeah,
the in the country.
that was the biggest
So maybe they
takeaway.
don't even maybe they don't even need him to score 35 a game. But for Arch personally, that's probably gonna be the toughest game I'll have all year.
Yeah,
We'll see.
Yeah, and it's not like they played a bad team. Like Ohio State's awesome. Matt Patricia, the dude's renowned as a defensive mind. So, like,
yeah,
it sucks. I'm pretty sure Texas plays Southern Mississippi School of the Blind this week. So, get your stuff back, score 50 something points, and go from there.
And that's when everyone started gargling his dick last year when he played UTEP and he was just, running wide open for 50 yards. It was like, hey, he's
Yeah.
fast, but you're not going to see that in God's chosen football conference, the SEC. So
yeah. It's a tough first game. It almost feels like that game that John was talking about should have been week 1 so that he could get his confidence with his offense because, first year quarterback, you have to get on the same page as, some of your specialists, your receivers, your running backs. And it was clear that like a lot of them weren't on the same page. This is a totally different offensive playbook than when Quinn Ewers was starting last year. Arch Manning is a different quarterback, and he's a completely different talent as well. I mean, Quinn Ewers, what was he drafted in the 7th round? Like that's what he is. He's a 7th round quarterback. He's good enough to get you into the playoff. He wasn't going to win you the national championship. He wasn't a Heisman hopeful, but he's a good backup NFL quarterback. But when we talk about Arch Manning and what the hopes are for him, it's like a lot of people already marked him as the number 1 pick whenever he does enter the NFL draft. They're saying that he's going to be a first round talent. And we see sparks of that, but I think Texas kind of not did him dirty, but like they they didn't open up their playbook for him. And there was some nerves in the first half. There definitely were. He looked uncomfortable at times. He made some shaky throws. That first throw of the game where the guy's coming across the field and he throws it into the ground. That's a long first down, if not a touchdown, if he completes that pass. And we might be looking at a different game against Ohio State. But in terms of like what happened in the second half, the touchdown throw was beautiful. You can't fault him on that final drive because he put that third down pass right into his receiver's window and the guy dropped it. So, like, there's a lot of things that happened that were outside of Arch Manning's control. But for the most part, like that was very much like a C game, you know? Like we didn't see the best of Arch Manning against Ohio State. He wasn't the game manager that you wanted him to be on the road. He didn't take chances as much as he should have. I think at times he just kind of accepted the sack instead of, you know, trying to like move out of the pocket and maybe extend the time to complete the pass or even take off, you know? Just a lot of things that they're going to get right as the season goes on. And like Joe said, they have a top 5, top 10 defense in the country. That's going to keep them in a lot of games. This is definitely a playoff contender right here in Texas.
do you see their next 3 weeks? I didn't realize it's San Jose State, UTEP, and
Yeah.
Sam Houston.
Yeah.
That's why I said they'll be fine.
I thought you meant one school for the blind.
No, they play the 3 blind mice.
I was gonna say deaf and never mind.
Deaf, blind, and stupid.
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley
Touchdown.
It's now 21.
That's not good. Damn, turned out to be a good game.
Some of
Usually
the stats in the first half are crazy. The Eagles already have 123 rushing yards in the first half, so the Cowboys definitely did not improve their rushing defense.
Well, I mean, it's the Eagles.
Yeah,
Like you can't judge Arch again on the road against Ohio State. You can't judge rush defense
against that
at
offensive
Philadelphia.
line. Yeah, no, it's the
Yeah,
truth.
that's-
I mean, Hurts is having a lights out game. He's 9 of 11, 93 yards. He's already rushed for 48 yards in the 2 TDs. Prescott, a great return, 98 yards in the first half. CeeDee Lamb's having a good game, but you would expect that. So a lot of offense.
Right.
If you pick the
Remember
over,
we talked last time? About the best running back tandem? I think you brought it up.
yeah,
Is this the best quarterback running back like rushing duo? I thought of Vic and LaShawn McCoy, but that was about it.
you're talking.
What about who was
all-
the running back with Vic in with the Falcons? Is that
Dunn?
Warwick Dunn?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
I might take Shady, but work done was solid. Lamar and Derrick Henry.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, well,
up there.
I guess that might have a beat. Yeah, so we have the 2 greatest playing right now.
I don't know if it has a beat, Joe. Not after Saquon's season last year.
Josh Allen and Devin Singletary.
Josh Allen and James Cook right now.
Yeah.
That's a really solid one.
Yeah, you got paid.
I'm trying to think of like rushing quarterbacks all time, like who's some of the best, and then just think who their running backs are.
Randall Cunningham and who'd you have on? Ricky Waters, right?
That's a really
Ricky
good
Waters, one. Did he join Philadelphia after?
No,
Efren,
I think Cunningham was still on the team.
No, I think Lamar and Derrick Henry might be the best ever because you got
Eli
literally
and
got
David
thunder
Wilson.
and lightning. Oof.
Justin Fields and Breece
Eli
Hall.
and Jumbo Elliott.
Yeah.
How about that, John?
Yeah.
Justin Fields and Breece
I'm
Hall.
still reeling, guys. I'm still reeling from AVT hurting his fucking triceps again. It's so brutal.
But yeah, he's just an injury waiting to happen.
He's got bad cells, man. He didn't drink enough whole milk when he was growing up.
That's why you have your whole milk.
That's what I did right before we started.
Yeah, John was chugging some whole milk
2%.
before we started recording tonight.
Oh
Jim Harbaugh taught me well. Football guy.
If there's one person you want to follow in life, it's Jim.
One of Gruden's the football guy.
Yeah.
True.
But I guess if there's 2 people you want to follow in life,
I watched his AFC North breakdown today. I was mesmerized.
Could you guys see him being the coach at Alabama next year if Kalen DeBoer doesn't get his head out of his ass?
Gruden, yeah.
He'd be a great college coach.
Yeah,
Oh
absolutely.
my God. He's made for college. Not that he wasn't a good NFL coach, but like he's got the exact like temperament.
Yeah.
Demeanor, temperament. He's a perfect dude to send in for recruiting too. Oh my God.
Guys, I didn't announce this in the beginning of the episode, but I need to get this out there. I did do an interview 2 weeks ago with Beckett Mesco, fantasy writer. I want to throw that in this episode, so
sweet.
Let's take a break now. Let's hand it over to the Beckett Mesco. He's from Pro Football Focus, which is, we always talk about Pro Football Focus stats, so it was a good one. He talked about fantasy football, obviously a lot of the drafts passed, but it was good information. We'll shift it over to that interview. Awesome. So excited to bring in Beckett Mesco of Pro Football Focus, which honestly, when we're going through our NFL previews, I always resort back to the ratings of Pro Football Focus. And I guess that's like my starting point because I'm always curious about this. So, a lot of people dictate the worth or how well a player is doing in the league based off of the PFF scores. They became so popular. How do you, I guess, take those scores and put it into like what you're doing with like fantasy and betting?
So yeah, fantasy especially, grades not as much as like your missed tackles forced, your yards after contact, your yards per reception, stuff like that. But grades especially can just kind of tell you trends. Like if a guy's had a 3-week spree of grading in the 80s and 90s, he's a really easy candidate to show that he's playing out of his mind for that 3-week span. The grading process is really, really complex and over my head. We're slowly starting to peel back the curtain on that, which has been really fun. And like I learn more about the grading process every day. Our data collectors do a great job with all of that. But for grades with fantasy, I look at them week to week. I don't like looking at overall season grades for fantasy because if you have a guy who maybe had a really rough week 1, it could easily tank his season-long grade, and it's not going to paint you that entire picture where if I'm looking at weeks 5 through 8, Deebo Samuel has a 89.9 grade those weeks, whereas full season, he might only have like a 72 because he got off to a really slow start. So I use grades more so for trends, but I'm all about the super advanced data, like all the target share stuff, yards per route run, everything. That's what I love looking at.
Absolutely. I have a bunch of like player questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I want to start with the QB class from last year because that seems like the one that everybody resorts back to. It has the making to be a very special one, but we'll see how they all play out. Jaden Daniels already paved his way as the front runner so far, and it seems like in fantasy terms, he's the one getting drafted first just because of not only what he can do with his arm, but his mobile presence as well. But who are you high on this year out of that class? I was going to say, first round.
Yeah, I'm going to stay away from Jaden Daniels just because I think he proved himself to everyone. He's going as like the QB3, QB4 at ADP right now. So there's not really much more value to juice out of him. He's going to be a guy you're taking early no matter what. I'm really, really excited for the Falcons offense this year. I think Michael Penix Jr. and Drake London are going to quickly become one of the better duos in the NFL. So last season, 3-game sample size, obviously nothing too crazy, but during that span, London was the PPR wide receiver one and was averaging 23.1 points per game over that span, which was tied with T. Higgins and somebody else. I can't remember off the top of my head, but over that, London had a 90.5 receiving grade, led the league in targets with 37, and had like 52 receiving yards. Penix loves Drake London. He also loves the deep ball. I think Penix's deep ball is something that, while is being talked about, isn't being talked about at the quality that it should be. He throws a really pretty deep ball. He's going to be a lot of fun this year. The Drake London to Michael Penix connection is going to wake up a lot of people, and I can't stop drafting that stack. I wish I had pulled up my best ball exposure right now because I have so much Drake London and Michael Penix Jr. It's ridiculous. And if you don't want to spend the price tag on Drake London at that round 2 turn, well, 1, you should. But 2, draft Darnell Mooney late, because Mooney is, people forget he went over 1,000 receiving yards last year. That offense is loaded, man. It's not being talked about enough. They're my pick to win that division, and I don't know if they'll make a run this year with how young of a core that is, but that offense is going to be super explosive, and if the defense steps up, that team as a whole is going to be a ton of fun.
Now, I'm big on Penix too, for the reasons that you're bringing up, that there's just countless weapons. And I want to get into Bijan Robinson eventually, but are you a little concerned about the completion percentage from Penix last year? Because I know that was in the 50s range.
Yeah, his completion percentage wasn't where I'm sure the Falcons or anyone in fantasy necessarily wanted it to be. However, I do think he was kind of vaulted into that starting role. I don't think the Falcons, Penix, or Kirk Cousins anticipated Penix starting at all last season. And with all young QBs, there's going to be growing pains. Like, I'm going to talk about Drake May next. In May, his touchdown to interception ratio wasn't great. But when you look at it a little bit deeper, 2 of the interceptions that May threw last year bounced off receivers' hands and weren't as turnover-worthy plays by us, just because it's so many different factors with the young quarterbacks. I'm not too worried about Penix's completion rate last season because this is now full camp with all of these weapons. The track record with London is there through a small sample size. I think it's going to be fun. The completion percentage might not ever be the highest thing in the world due to the fact how he loves taking the shots down the field, but it'll be good enough to not be a worry, I would say.
Yeah, and the other 2 that come to mind, because I actually seen Bo Nix go a little bit higher than I thought he would go in several drafts.
Yeah.
But I want to talk Caleb Williams and I want to talk JJ McCarthy. And the reasons I want to talk about that is because Caleb Williams obviously has a new coach. There's rumblings that there was times when he was in the film room watching film by himself, which just is crazy to me. But he brings in an offensive mastermind in Ben Johnson. And apparently Ben Johnson's been pretty tough on him because he's a big advocate of tough love. But JJ McCarthy also has a quarterback guru in Kevin O'Connell. And, to me, he's already made himself a top 5 coach in the league, in my opinion, just because of what he's been able to do with less. Do you think those 2 are going to get drafted a little bit higher because of those reasons, because of the upside from what's around them?
So I think it's interesting. They're all kind of like lumped it. Both of those quarterbacks are kind of lumped into that same group. It's like Caleb Williams, Jordan Love, JJ McCarthy, like CJ Stroud, I believe, is in that range of ADP too. So they're all going in that like, let me see. I've got ADPs right here. Yeah, 15. They're Caleb's 15, McCarthy's 19. So they're all in that 15 to 20 range. I think Caleb, I would much rather draft this year. I'm really banking on the breakout. Their O-line was really bad last year, and that's something that I don't think people are talking about enough, is how much work they did on that O-line to protect him. He took a league high 43 sacks last year and was pressured 225 times, which is just not going to be a recipe of success no matter who it is. And to counter myself, a good portion of those sacks were on Caleb himself. He had a problem holding on to the ball too long last year, and that's not a secret to anybody, but the O-line didn't do him any favors. Bringing in Tooney from the Chiefs, Drew Dahlman, who I still don't understand why he left, why they would make that move. He's awesome. And there were some snap issues last year in Chicago too. And there's another piece on the O-line that they brought in or drafted. I can't think of off the top of my head, but that O-line got completely revamped this year. I'm really excited for that. And the weapons are just ridiculous. Obviously they lost Keenan Allen, but I think the betting on the breakout from Rome Odunze this year is a good bet to make. He's now going to be in year 2 with Caleb. They are going to be on the same page this year. And then you've got DJ Moore as your alpha. You bring in Colston Loveland. You've still got DeAndre Swift back there. And they got Kyle Mungai in the 7th round, who I was really high on. I'm a Ravens fan, and I wanted us to take a swing on him in like the 6th, 5th round, and he fell way further than I thought he would. So everything the Bears have done on offense, including bringing in Ben Johnson, I think is just a recipe for success for Caleb this year. I think he's going as the QB 15, and there's no reason to think he can't finish as a top 10 fantasy QB this year.
Absolutely. And it's funny because you hear the mixed reviews. Some people are high on him, some people are hesitant. But I think there's a reason he was the number 1 pick, and people looked at him as the best pick since like Mahomes probably. But going back to like Drake London, I know there's the 3 that people just are like, all right, it's expected that they're going to be drafted in the top 10. It's Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson. Even I saw Malik Neighbors is starting to jump in there where he's consistently getting picked in the top 10. Outside of like those receivers, or like those top tier, I guess you can call them tier 1 receivers. And outside of Drake London, who are some guys that you're looking at as like 2nd, 3rd round receivers that you're high on?
I'm going to go even deeper than 2nd or 3rd round, and I'm going to give a shout out to Chris Olave. I think everyone is just forgetting how good he is. I get it. He's like a concussion away type of thing, but he's arguably one of the better receivers in the NFL when he's healthy. All of the advanced statistics back that. His route running is insane. I love watching Chris Olave run routes. It doesn't matter who's throwing him the ball, in my opinion. He's going to get open. He's going to get targets. He's going as I want to say like wide receiver. That might be late. No, way too late. Sorry. He's going wide receiver 34 right now,
still
which
late.
is, you're getting him 77th overall right now, which is a crazy discount on a player of his caliber. And that late in drafts, you're a lot more willing to take a swing on a guy who has injury concerns rather than taking a guy like CMC in round 1 that could tank your entire draft.
Yeah, I didn't even think of, and that's a good point. I've always been big on Olave. Last season, I picked him in 2 of my leagues, and now I'm like, for the concussion reasons, I'm like, do I really want to do this again? But I didn't even think of like, and we're speaking of injuries, Puka Nacua, who battled injuries all last season, but just what he did during his rookie campaign was almost unheard of.
It's unbelievable.
And I've had 1 draft so far. I know I look at the big boards and stuff like that. I have several coming up. Is that someone you're entrusting a 1st round pick in?
So I'm less worried about Puka himself and more worried about Matthew Stafford. This back problem is a little scary to me with Stafford's age and how much it appears to be lingering. Puka's health to me isn't a concern. Stafford's the thing to monitor. If I'm choosing right now until that Stafford news is cleared up between Puka, Brian Thomas Jr., Drake London, or Malik Neighbors, I'm probably taking all of them over Puka right now, just due to the Stafford news. Before the Stafford news came out, I was drafting Puka in so many best ball formats. But until that gets resolved, I'm much more comfortable clicking the other wide receivers.
Yeah, that was my thinking too, because I was in an interesting spot where, Jefferson, Neighbors, and Nacua were still on the board. And at the end of the Jefferson was worrisome because we don't know what to expect out of JJ McCarthy. I think I was worried about Neighbors because once again, who's thrown to him. Right now they have Russell Wilson doing it, but he's proved he can do a lot with very little last season. And then Nacua has his injury problems. So it was like, to me, who had the biggest upside, in my opinion. I ultimately went with who's done it for the longest, and that's Jefferson. Do you feel like that's a mindset you can carry into fantasy, is like who has proven it every year? Or would you take that 1 year of Neighbors where he had over 100 catches with, at one point Tommy DeVito throwing to him, and just because of what his upside is, are you taking him?
I think that That's really interesting. So I haven't been in a position this year like you have where I've had the option of taking Jefferson that late. I'm seeing Jefferson for the most part going 5, 6, maybe 7. Um, and I'm drafting neighbors like 9, 10, 11, 12 for the most part. I think Jefferson's your safer bet. Regardless, kind of the same thing as Olave. Regardless who's throwing him the ball, he's going to produce. He's a alpha wide receiver who's going to demand targets. And Kevin O'Connell knows that. JJ McCarthy should know that. And especially with Jordan Addison being out the first 4 weeks of the year, I think it's going to be a lot of Justin Jefferson and a lot of TJ Hawkinson. Neighbors is a lot higher ceiling this season, I would say. I think we saw like I don't want to say scratch the surface because he had an unbelievable year last year, but like you said, with Tommy DeVito at points throwing him the ball, where now we have back half of the career Russ, but back half of the career Russ is a lot better than what Neighbors had throwing to him last year. And Russ has proven that he's still got a little left in the tank, and that's really exciting for me for Malik Neighbors. He's one of the guys that I have as could very easily finish as the overall wide receiver one. Him and London are my top two, not Justin Jefferson, not Jamar Chase, not any of the like top 3, 4 guys that I think could easily contend for the overall spot this year.
Yeah, I'm big on Neighbors, and it's not just because I'm a Giants fan, but because I know like what he did last season. The reason, the Giants who needed a quarterback picked him over the likes of JJ McCarthy, Michael Penix, and Bo Nix, and they seemed like the entire time they were trending towards a quarterback to the last second when they were like, oh my God, this talent is on the board. So, and who knows, like, maybe Russ Neighbors seems very happy with Russ this year. And, if Russ doesn't work out, it's Jackson Dart time, but we'll see about that.
Who has looked great this preseason? Yeah. I know it's preseason, but Jackson Dart is playing some damn good football right now.
Accurate.
That's been a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, making good decisions. Looks like a veteran in the pocket at times, not panicking. But I'm gonna put you on the spot a little bit because I told you I was gonna bring up Bijan Robinson, and I was shocked because like I feel like a few weeks ago I'm reading across the board and people are like, all right, Bijan Robinson, RB1, maybe number 1 pick. He was like 50-50 of Jamar Chase. Recently, I'm seeing more and more people say, hey, like Jamar Chase is the number 1, and that draft I just had is a small sample size, but Chase was instantly the number 1 pick. And I'm sure he'll go in so many other drafts as number 1. But can you make a case for someone like Bijan Robinson to be the number 1 player in the league or fantasy wise?
Absolutely. Bijan is my 1-1 this year. If I'm not fading Jamar Chase by any means, but I don't want to take him at the 1.01 just simply due to the fact that we haven't seen a wide receiver finish back-to-back seasons as the overall wide receiver 1 since Antonio Brown. It's been a while. It hasn't been as long as the RB drought was for a while there, but it's creeping up on 10 years now that we have seen a wide receiver do that. And like I said, I can't stop raving about this Falcons offense. I'm all in on the Falcons offense this year. I think Bijan's going to obviously be a huge part of that. He's going to catch more passes this year. He averaged 1 more target a game with Michael Penix under center than he did with Kirk Cousins. Back to the completion percentage point, a lot of those were uncatchable targets. But the target share he was getting with Penix was really good. He was just behind London and I want to say Mooney. And then it was London, Mooney, Bijan, and then Kyle Pitts was the pecking order with Penix under center. So I have a lot of hope for him catching a lot more passes this year. Obviously, he's shown he's amazing on the ground, but I think sky's the limit for Bijan this year. In my mind, he's the no doubt 101. I can't say much more than that. He's going to be great.
Yeah, I'm excited about him. He really started to pave his way last season because rookie season, I don't want to say it was underwhelming, but it for a running back that was drafted that high, I expected more, but you can contribute that to, I don't think the Falcons line was as great. Drake London was still, he didn't have his coming out party yet. He didn't really know who the quarterback was going to be. So yeah, it's a whole different scenario 2 years later. But the other running backs, there's 2 others that come to mind in the first round. It's Christian McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley. I have a question for each of them. McCaffrey, the injuries, it's not just last season, it's been throughout his career. I picked him first overall before, and he's just totally wiped out my season. Do you feel safe drafting him? And the other one is Barkley, who has had an injury history himself, but last year probably saw way more carries and, way bigger of a spotlight on the offense than the Eagles initially intended. But I think they saw, that success that he was providing on the field was just way too good to gravitate from. And the Eagles are typically a backfield that is like a committee backfield. They like to see multiple guys getting some love, but it was really just Barkley back there last season. Are you hesitant about these two great running backs, or are you drafting them in the first round?
I feel like with Christian McCaffrey, that's the age-old question, right? It's like,
Yeah.
is this the year that you take the gamble and it pays off, or is this the year that you draft him early and it tanks your season? I got a lot of shit from my girlfriend last year because she played fantasy for the first time and had the 101, and I convinced her to take Christian McCaffrey. But no, I'm less worried about Christian McCaffrey as than I have been in the past. All reports are coming out really, really strong that he looks good in the preseason. He's looked good in camp. Obviously not playing in the preseason, but through camps, he's looked really good. And I'm not hearing anything about the lingering of it. I feel like last year we kind of got led on a little bit about how serious of an injury it was. It felt like we were it was, oh, he might be back next week. And then it was, 2 weeks from now. And then it was, his season's over. And that just kind of crushed so many people's fantasy hopes for the year. But a lot less worried about McCaffrey this year, especially at his discounted ADP. Like, I feel like even in years where McCaffrey's gotten hurt and come back, a lot of the time he's still going as a top 3 pick, where this year you can kind of get him towards the back middle to the back end of the first round, depending on how scared your league mates are of drafting him, which is a valid concern.
Yeah.
The upside is just so high if he's healthy that it's hard to not click draft if he falls far enough. I'm not necessarily taking him at I think his ADP is 7 right now. I'm not taking him there, but if he slips towards that 10, 11, 12 range, I have no problem clicking draft on McCaffrey. To the Saquon point, I think his ADP is a little rich for me. I don't think I own any Saquon in best ball this year, which could prove to be a mistake, but he ripped off explosive runs last year at a rate we've never seen. He was ripping off 40 and 50 yarders, it seemed like, every single week. He had 6 or 7 rushes of 50 plus yards last year, I think, which was the most in a season since AP in 2015. It was the rate he was scoring long 12 to 15 point touchdowns was just ridiculous. And he's still going to finish in the top 5 of running backs, but I don't see him having as historic of a season as he did last year. So I'm much rather drafting Bijan, Gibbs, any of those guys over Saquon this year, just due to that fact. I think there will be a little bit of regression on the explosiveness.
Yeah, I want to. Time's running out on us. I have 2 questions, and they're very on par with each other. I'm going to start with the positives. Who are guys that are mid-round sleepers in your opinion?
My biggest one is Jacoby Myers. I love Jacoby Myers. I'm a huge Jacoby Myers guy. And it feels like every year gets undervalued. And especially this year, he's being undervalued. I don't know his ADP off the top of my head, but it's late. He's going in that Olave range of that 34, wide receiver 34 to 40. People aren't talking about how big of an upgrade Geno Smith is in that offense. He is one of the better graded deep ball passers by us. He remains calm in the pocket, and we're going from Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew last year to Geno Smith, which is a way bigger upgrade than people are giving Geno credit for. He had a 82.3 PFF grade last year throwing the deep ball, which ranked 13th amongst all quarterbacks. And Jacoby can run deep routes. He's gone over 1,000 yards he's gone over 800 plus yards the last 3 seasons. He went over 1,000 last year, and you can get him so late in drafts this year. And he's a guy that's he's not an upside guy. He's not going to score you 40 points every once in a while, but he's going to consistently get you that 15 to 20 point mark and be a safe flex option for you week to week. And that's getting a guy like that as late as you can right now just feels ridiculous.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And how about guys that have been big targets in the past that you're starting to tail off on?
I'm not too high on Xavier Worthy this year. I think he had a really big touchdown surge at the end of last year. And with Rashee Rice out, Hollywood Brown was out. Kelsey wasn't producing at a level we've seen in the past, and I don't think he will again. He's another guy that I'm not targeting in any drafts this year. He's a fade for me. But Worthy, overall, I think his ADP is getting spiked a ton by his late season resurgence and touchdowns. Rashee's going to play the first 4 weeks. Then he's probably going to be out anywhere from 4 to 6. But Hollywood's healthy from all reports. Kelsey is Kelsey still. He's still going to get targets, but I just don't see Worthy living up to a top 25 ADP this year. That's a guy that I can't get behind clicking draft on at all this year. I'm going to give one more breakout guy that I'm super high on this year, and it's Tet McMillan.
Yes.
Can't draft enough Tet McMillan. I'm him and Bryce Young. I'm big on the Bryce Young breakout this year. I think it's coming. He showed it last year. He really put it together after the benching. He came back and lit it up for 4 or 5 weeks there. And now he gets a true X outside, come down with the ball guy in McMillan. And I can't wait to watch that. McMillan's going to be a lot of fun. He's going around that range of Worthy right now. He's going as like right before wide receiver 30. He's going like 28 or 29 right now. Can't stop clicking draft on him. I'm super excited for the Panthers offense this year.
Yeah, 3 minutes left. Two like just quick ones. I guess I'll start with this. I need to know, what's the earliest you're okay with picking a QB in a fantasy draft?
It's such a hard question because it depends. I'm not a fan of taking the big guys. I'm not drafting much of Lamar Jackson, Jaden Daniels, Jalen Hurts. I much prefer stacking my wide receivers and running backs early and then looking round 11 and 12 and grabbing a Penix or grabbing a JJ McCarthy or a Drake May or someone I'm banking on their upside, but they're not going to cripple me if it's not great. Like stashing an Aaron Rodgers or a Russell Wilson or someone who's not going to break the score sheet, but will consistently perform. So I'm a late round guy. I like Fields in round 9 is about as early as I'm drafting a quarterback right now. I think I have 1 share of Josh Allen and 1 share of Lamar Jackson right now in best ball. But other than that, I've got a lot of Fields. I have a lot of Penix. I've got a lot of JJ.
I like that. I'm surprised by Fields, but then you think mobile quarterback. Let's close this out with a betting question. What is one future you are positive about?
Jakobi Meyers over 800.5 receiving yards. Minus 110 as that was a month ago that I wrote an article on that, but Jakobi Meyers over 800.5 receiving yards, and Bucky Irving over 1,025.5 rushing yards. Are the two props that I'm all in right now.
They both seem like locks. Especially I love the Irving one, but yeah, that was Beckett Mesco, Pro Football Focus. Covers fantasy and betting. You have an Instagram. I couldn't find you on Twitter. Is there a Twitter page?
Yeah, PFF_Beck on Twitter. I'm on Twitter all the time. Feel free, tweet at me. Steven, thank you so much for having me on. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you for doing this. Can't wait to get it out there. Yeah, that was Beckett Mesco. Really cool interview. Thanks for joining us on Under Further Review. We're gonna do some picks for the games this weekend. Just real quick before we get into the picks, Joe, you remember we went to Army Boston College 2 years ago in that rainy game? So the Florida State quarterback who beat Alabama this weekend was Thomas Castellanos, I think his name is. He was
the guy who was talking shit.
He was the quarterback that started for Boston College in that Army game. So we saw him live.
Really?
Yeah.
He broke everyone's hearts. That would have been a huge win.
He looks great. I mean, he's in the right offense. Florida State brought in a veteran offensive coordinator. I mean, they're going to have one of the biggest bounce back seasons we'll ever see. Going from 2 wins last year. And 2 years ago, they were in the playoff hunt. And then last year, they had 2 wins only. Norval, the head coach of Florida State, and that team deserves it. That was a really awesome game. But Alabama's getting a lot of shit. Did you see all the hate that DeBoer's getting? John, you mentioned it.
People are just happy.
He's getting
to see
absolutely killed right now.
Yeah.
Oh, shout out Black Knights. Not the best way to start the year. Yeah, we're Army podcast, so losing to Tarleton.
Yeah.
isn't great.
Well, I was talking about
Who did they lose?
Tarleton
I
State.
don't know if pronouncing it right.
FBS.
Jesus.
Oh yeah, Tarleton State.
Yeah. We were
Yikes.
talking about going to Army game this year as a podcast. Is that still on the table after that loss?
Oh, we have to support no matter what.
Yeah. We'll just
Cheap
we'll
tickets.
knock back some surf sides. We'll go to that brewery afterwards. We'll have a day.
Cheers.
That's the only reason you want to go, just the brewery.
Dude, greatest brewery ever. It's a burger place / brewery and like all bunch of TVs everywhere. It's a great place to drink. I had a lot of fun at that brewery. Did you?
It was good food.
Yeah.
I don't know. I remember I was so wet.
Yeah, still wet. So
I
wet.
was so wet. I was so soaked.
That's Joe on the
right.
weekends. That's most weekends for you. Yeah, let's do some picks. So,
I'm writing everything down.
do we want to
this.
put something on the table, like make this actually like officially worthwhile?
I think bragging rights is enough. My little heart can't take anymore.
I don't know. I think we got to do something more.
Well, Mike's also not here. I think he should be.
Yeah,
We shouldn't decide something so important without him.
we'll start brainstorming ideas. We definitely should do something that the loser has to do.
Tell you what, if I'm up more than 3 games or we're tied, then we'll do it.
No,
After
that is not a
okay.
thing. We'll come up with something. I still want to do the karaoke. Losers have to sing karaoke.
I'd rather take a paintball to the stomach.
That's the whole point of a bet, though. Like, you do something you don't want to do.
Paintball to the stomach, I don't want to do.
Yeah, but
It's not something I'll go out of my way to seek out.
so both you and Mike said you don't want to do karaoke. Like, you'd rather do paintballing. So I think we have to go with karaoke.
Then you have to do paintball.
All right, I'm fine with that. We'll think of something
Mike,
good.
if Mike agrees,
We'll think of
then
something.
Yeah, we'll think of
That's
something.
fine. Okay.
Let's start with the first game. I think it's Giants Commanders, right, John?
Yeah, so we have Giants Commanders. Giants are getting 5.5, and the over/under in that game, according to FanDuel Sportsbook, the greatest sportsbook in America, is 45.5.
Oh, I should log off DraftKings then if that's not the best. Okay. Because they're getting Washington
Actually
6.
own
DraftKings.
Stock in DraftKings, but
Do you?
don't use DraftKings.
Okay.
ESPN Sportsbook says 6.5 for the Giants.
6.5 Giants. So we're going
Let's
to do
just go
5.5 or
off of-
6.5.
Let's go 5.5. It's not a big
5.5?
difference. It's not like it's 7.5.
8, and I'll take the Giants.
Joe, start us up.
So John will read it off, and we'll go off of FanDuel. So we'll agree on that.
Yeah,
Just so
yeah, FanDuel.
Yeah, I have them all, I have all the games written down already.
Yeah, we're ready to rock. What do you guys
Doesn't that feel a little low to you?
It
Like something
does.
tells me if this game, like this feels like it should be 7.5. It's almost so low, and people are so high on the Giants. This is optimism for the Giants is usually dangerous. Even when they're good, it's dangerous. God, I might just pick the ugliest pick possible and pick the under 45.5.
So under 45.5.
This is a Giants pass rush trying to figure out the quarterback situation kind of pick. I'm hoping the Giants can win this like 20 to 23-20 or something like that. So under 45.5.
barely
Okay.
if it's 23-20.
Yeah, I'd still win.
Yeah. John, what do you got?
Give me the Giants.
Yeah. I like that, actually. I was going to go Giants plus 5.5. I think with the Commanders, they traded their top running back, Brian Robinson, from last season. Terry McLaurin sat out most of the season, which all factors into what Joe picked as well. But also, if you think about it, like, this is a revamped Giants team where there's a lot of good vibes going around it, but they stuck around with the Commanders on the road last season, and they always seem to play Washington tough. So I think this is going to be a pretty close game. I could see the under also hitting, like Joe's saying, but I want to go plus 5.5 for the Giants.
John, you're
Next
writing all this
game up.
down?
Yes, I have it written down as well.
Oh my God, you're taking all my responsibilities from me. I feel so free.
I am.
Freedom.
I might even have a notes.
What?
I'll have a notes thing too, ready for tomorrow that we can put on the Instagram page.
Yeah, that'd be
So
cool.
everyone else knows what we have. All right, next game is going to be the Steelers at the Jets. Jets are getting 2.5 points at home, and the over/under in that game is 37.5.
Jesus Christ.
37.5. Gee.
That's another sneaky one where they're just begging you to take the over. I'm going to be dumb enough to take it because I'm a dumb piece of shit. Give me the over.
Over?
Give me the over. I feel so weird picking spreads this early in the season.
Right.
Especially Jets Steelers. Who the fuck knows how that's going to go?
Yeah.
I'm going to take Steelers minus 2.5. Again, I see the Steelers kicking a late field goal after a really, really tough, low-scoring game, and the Jets losing in heartbreak fashion.
What's the Fields passing yardage over under? I wonder.
It's got to be under 180.
I was seriously gonna say like 177.
Let me check right now. It's got to be. I don't even know if they have it up yet.
I don't think numbers go that low.
It can't be that much. It's definitely not 200. I'll tell you that right now. Justin Fields. Just have all.
What a weird week 1 game.
Look at all
some
passing
weird's
yards.
gonna happen in that one.
It's Rodgers.
All right, so
returning
he's
for the
plus
Jets.
I know.
174 of 200 and over. 175 and over. He's minus 112. So yeah, probably in that 180 range is what they have in that.
Yeah, 112 is about even money. Listen to us,
Which
we're
is,
real
I'd say,
gamblers.
right
We're talking
where
real
I
shit.
think he should be.
Yeah.
What a tough game. I feel like that over underline is like the Iowa ones we always talk about, where like it's just laughing in your face, but it ends up working
I'm
out.
muted.
Yeah. Is there like a hurricane coming through I don't know about? Like, why is that so? I guess Justin Fields is involved, so that would probably
Yeah.
make sense.
Honestly, like I don't know, like picking the over in week 1 always feels like it's such a risk, but I don't. It's just 37.5. Come on now, like
Did you guys hear me? I lost
You'll
you
never
guys
see
for a
that in
second.
October unless like the Browns and the Saints play.
yeah,
Did you guys hear what I said? I was
What?
knocked out for a second.
no,
I couldn't hear you guys.
No.
No,
am I
about
gonna-
my pick. Did you get my pick?
yeah. You picked the field goal late.
What did you pick in this game, Steve? I didn't get that.
I'm gonna go with the over too.
Over 37.5.
Yeah.
Next game is Bucks Falcons. Bucks at Falcons. Falcons are getting a 1.5, and the over under is 47.5.
Yeah, let me think about this one. You can go, Steve.
Yeah, I'm really high on the Bucks this year. They returned all 11 starters, plus they drafted Egbuka in the first round, and they also have like a sneaky good defense. Like a lot of people are saying that they could be not only make a playoff run but Super Bowl contenders this year. And I think Baker Mayfield and the Bucks are going to start off right. I know they're on the road, but give me the Bucks minus 1.5.
Steve's going Bucks minus 1.5.
I had the Falcons winning the division this year.
That over looks fantastic, by the way. I'm not going to lie. I'm not trying to influence anyone's pick, but
No, that's where I'm going. I'll just tell you my pick. I'm going over 47.5. I could see that game being 2020 at halftime.
I'll piggyback on Stevie over there. I think the Bucks will win it, but the Falcons will win the division. I think Penix will have a slow start, and yeah, I think it'll take like at least 27 to win this game. Which
yeah.
I don't know. The over does feel too juicy though. I can't take it though.
But you could take the Jets and Steelers over.
Oh,
Yeah.
37. That's Steve. That's always free money. If anything, if
I don't
history
know.
tells us
I don't
anything-
know.
Have you seen the Jets? Have you seen their offense?
Yeah.
It's
Fields.
offensive. Their offense is offensive.
They score 6. The Steelers score
21.
31.5. We're good.
No, 31.
Yep.
God. All right. So that was Bucks Falcons. Next game, 49ers at Seahawks.
This might be the game of the day, like underrated game of the day.
I think so. Seahawks are getting 1.5, and the over/under is 43.5.
I think the Niners could win the Super Bowl, and I still don't know if Sam Darnold's going to shake that off. See, like I'm a real expert. I talk about quarterbacks. I talk about a few select skill players. I talk about like 5 combined defensive players in the league, and then I just refer to everybody else in units. But I mean, I think the Niners might actually like get back to where they were a couple of years ago. So Niners, even though Seattle's
Niners.
a tough place to play, Niners.
I'm gonna take the under in that game. Under 43.5.
Did you pick Steve?
This game scares me because like McCaffrey's been limited in practice this
Yes.
week. The Niners receivers aren't anything fantastic. I mean, you don't know what you're going to get out of Ricky Pearsall. You don't know what Jawan Jennings is going to be. I mean, he's looked good in playoff games, but he's never been fully consistent. But also, I'm worried about the Seahawks too because they just lost DK Metcalf. You know, what's his name? Jackson Smith, Najigba. He's their top receiver now, and I think he's really good. I don't know. I don't know if I can go with the over. I do feel like this is a game that the Niners are, Purdy's healthy. It's week 1. The Niners are on a redemption tour. Give me the Niners. That minus 1.5.
All right. Next game will be NFC North divisional contest.
Over.
We have the Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers.
Over.
Detroit is getting 2.5, and the over is 47.5.
Over.
Steve with the over. Love it.
Definitely.
Yeah, I was just thinking with the McCaffrey thing. Do you ever remember in like your years of playing fantasy, like how much of a minefield the first round is? Because you have Derrick Henry, who people have been like waiting to write off as old. Saquon Barkley, no one knows if he's gonna like replicate what he had. Bijan Robinson has had one great year. McCaffrey, and then like Genti is a rookie. Like
Say it with me, Joe.
there's no like what?
Say it with me, McCaffrey.
It's not McCaffrey?
No, it's McCaffrey.
All right. Starting out perfect like you. Jeez.
I've been letting it.
I would say the closest time definitely had to be right after Chris Johnson rushed for 2,000 yards.
Yeah.
And you had all those like guys getting hurt.
What about
You
Murray?
just remember when
from the
like
Cowboys.
like LaDainian Tomlinson, like there's your number one pick. Adrian Peterson, there's your number one pick.
Yeah.
Even Derrick Henry a few years ago, that's your number one.
You know, in our league, I had the number 2 pick, and
Which I wouldn't want that.
but I'm saying like based off of like if you looked at last year's production, like Saquon should either go number 1 or number 2. And I was sitting there, and I knew Chase was going to go 1, so I'm sitting there, and I'm like, do I want to take Saquon after the workload he had last season? I mean, he's having a good first game right now, so maybe it's not a bad pick, and if he stays healthy, he's going to put up his numbers. But I picked Bijan Robinson just because of like what he did last season and what he can become, you know? And I think that's going to be a high power Falcons offense. So it is like, this was one of the harder first rounds, in my opinion, in a while. Is usually there's a lot of like guys who are like set in stone, like where they're getting picked in the first round. But like I saw McCaffrey get picked as early as like 3 or 4 in like people's drafts. Like I watched people's drafts on YouTube.
See, when you say McCaffrey, it's like a silent T to me. I can't
It's
unhear
McCaffrey.
it. Yeah, Bijan would be the safest pick for me because he is in his prime. He has proven it to an extent.
Yeah, I mean, like even like think Jefferson. Like people are picking him 6, 7, but some people are taking him at 4. Like the whole first round's been sprinkled like that. And that you know, I'm high on Neighbors this year, but a lot of people picked him at the end of the first round. If I was in that 6, 7 slot, there was a chance that I would have considered Neighbors just because of what he did during his rookie season and what he can become. You know, like, and now he has.
I was shocked he made it to me at 10.
Yeah,
in
that's
our league
crazy.
with mostly Jets and Giants fans. I was shocked.
You know what's wild? I told Allie's other cousin on the other side of the family, Rob, who's in our draft. I said take Neighbors. If he had like the 8th pick, and he didn't listen to me. I was like, take Neighbors there.
Joe, what do you have in this game? Detroit
Packers.
Green Bay.
I don't
So
even know
you
what
like the
spread is.
Packers? It's 2.5. They're down 2.5.
All right, yeah, that's fine.
So you like the Packers in that game? Not so fast, my friend. I'll
Lee
take
Corso.
Detroit plus 2.5.
4-0 this week.
Yeah, it's incredible to go out like that.
Lee, he went 6-0.
6-0. He did. Picked
He was
Florida
6-0.
State too.
Yeah.
He picked
Yeah.
he picked Ohio State. That was the big pick where he put the mascot head on. He actually picked LSU to be the champs, so we'll see if that comes through.
We'll see.
I'll also say Lee Corso, people weren't talking about, maybe the greatest video game commentator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the way he translated, I think he had the most unique expressions out of like anybody they've done like voiceovers for.
He's second, I think. Gary
Who?
Thorne.
What does he do?
NHL.
Okay. See, I don't.
He
I
was
don't play
great
that.
in NHL games. Him and Doc
Kevin
Emmerich,
Harlan too.
Yeah, Harlan's good.
NBA. Is he in NBA or NFL?
NBA,
Do you guys remember the Madden year we had Gus Johnson as the Madden?
of course.
guy?
Yeah.
It was phenomenal.
Yeah, he
All
brought
right.
the energy.
Do you guys still play those games?
No,
I haven't
had
played
2K20.
Madden since
I think that was the last one I
2009.
had. No, I tried the Madden last year, but it's still broken. Just doesn't update.
I really want to try
so don't buy
NCAA.
it.
I just don't know anyone who has it.
That's the one that EA actually does pretty well. I
Yeah,
heard.
I've heard good
Like,
things
they
about it.
actually tried.
All right, this is probably the game of the week on paper anyway. Baltimore at Buffalo. Buffalo is getting 1.5 at home. Wait, do I have that right? That doesn't seem right to me.
That would make sense.
Buffalo is getting 1.5 at home, and the over/under in that game is 50.5.
Oh my God. Just give me the over. I'll be an idiot.
Over.
This would be like 2011 Green Bay, New Orleans to open up the year.
I'm also taking the
As
over
you guys
in that
very
game.
well. My camera's flashing. Again.
Yeah, I think
Steve, what do you
I
got?
might be a copycat here. I was leaning Buffalo because I feel like Baltimore has slow starts to the season usually, but I'm gonna go with the over because I do think
Straight flush.
it's gonna be a high power offense
Over.
game.
Imagine betting the under on Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, that's just crazy.
I'm
The
good.
two quarterbacks going
Those are the people.
early.
Those are the people who win money, though. People who could sit through that.
This game to me on paper looks like a trap game. You have Minnesota at Chicago. Chicago is getting 1.5, and the over/under in that game is 43.5.
Give me the over.
This will end the debate. End the debate on this podcast.
Over.
How many text messages did you and Mike send back and forth? Caleb Williams. It was mostly about Caleb Williams. I think J.J. McCarthy was left out of it.
Well, I didn't like how Caleb Williams came into the NFL. A lot of entitlement when he was getting drafted. That's what started it all. But I don't know. There's just been a long history with Caleb Williams, and he's only 1 year into the NFL. It's just wild.
He's painting his nails again. I think that's what it is for you.
I always got bothered by the painting of the nails because I think he always wrote, fuck the team he was playing on there,
Yeah.
So if he was playing like the Vikings this week, he'd probably write fuck Vikings or something.
Fuck Vikes.
Yeah, Vikes.
Yeah.
Do we have any
All
more?
right, I'm gonna take.
Fuck JJ, and it's just
Don't ever
his
say
pinky
that.
and middle finger.
He can do no wrong.
Sorry, Steve.
I'm taking Minnesota minus 1.5.
I mean, I had to take the Bears.
You're going plus the 1.5.
Them Bears. Fuck them Bears.
Did we skip over Houston Rams?
That's right
Where's-
now. That game's now.
Okay.
Houston at the LA Rams, formerly known as the St. Louis Rams.
That's what I called them earlier.
Houston is getting 3 points, and the over/under is 43.5.
That seems suspiciously low, but I'm not taking the bait. I will take the Houston's the underdog, right?
Wait,
They are.
is this a
Getting
trash
3.
game? Is Stafford playing?
I would assume so if
If they're getting the
Houston's getting points.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that's an important tidbit to know.
I don't know. Like if Stafford
Houston
Yeah.
plus 3.
if Stafford's not playing, then give me Houston.
Yeah. If it was 2.5, I would have taken LA.
Yeah.
I
But
shouldn't
if
have brought
it's
up this
3
game.
Houston, I'm gonna take Houston.
Yeah, I think I'm going with you, Houston.
You know, just give me another over. Why not?
Over 43.5.
Yeah, let's just. This feels like 2 and 6.
All right. So our picks: Game 1, Giants getting 5.5. Over is 45.5. Steve is taking the Giants with the points. Joe is taking the under 45.5, and I'm taking the Giants with the points. Pittsburgh Steelers at Jets. Jets getting 2.5. Over under of 37.5. Steve's taking the over 37.5. So is Joe, and I'm taking the Steelers minus the points. Bucks Falcons. Steve is taking the Falcons minus the 1.5. So is Joe, and I'm taking the over 47.5.
If all I do is hit the Jets and the Bears, I'll be happy. Even if I go 2 and 6, those are the ones I take pride in.
Fair.
Are those your ones you're betting on?
I might just want more skin in that game. I'll bet the Bears definitely.
He just wants that rival to continue with the J.J. McCarthy and Caleb.
I think it's good for the podcast. It gives us
Niners Hawks. Steve's taking the Hawks.
No,
Joe is taking the Niners.
don't do me dirty like that.
Both are taking the Niners. My apologies. I apologize. And I'm taking the under 43.5. Detroit Green Bay.
Steve
Steve's
says
taking
he's
the
doing
over
a Hawks minus
47.5.
8 pleaser. Just let you know.
Pleaser for who? Sam Darnold's parents and the freaking Marlboro man himself, Dick's
Yep.
hammer.
Yep, them in the house, both.
Lions Packers is over under 47.5 for Steve, minus the points with Green Bay for Joe, and I'm taking plus the points, so that's a fun game. We're all taking a different little action on that.
So Mike
Next
doesn't have a
game-
pick for that one.
Yeah, no, he does. He does have a pick. He's
he
got
does?
he's got the under 47.5.
Okay.
Let's do the Justin Fields passing over and have that count as 8 games for him.
What's he gonna take? The over or the under?
He's a Jets fan. I'll take the over.
I'm a Jets fan, and I'm taking the
I
under.
don't think he's that big on
150 for
field.
175.
Yeah, no, he hates Fields.
What's this? All right, so Baltimore and Buffalo. Like we said, would we say that's the best game of the week?
Yeah, I think we all picked the over though.
All picked all 50.5 overs. When
Yeah.
does that
Well,
hit? In the
how are you
third
gonna
quarter?
pick a side in that? That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So you just take the
No
over.
way am I taking a side. Minnesota at the Bears. Steve's taking over 43.5. Joe is taking over 43.5. And I'm taking
thought Joe picked the Bears.
Vikings minus 1.5.
I picked the Bears, by the way.
You picked the Bears?
In
That
bold,
game?
yeah. I'm high in the Bears.
Oh, I'm sorry, you did pick the Bears. The plus 1.5.
Don't worry, Steve. I'm staying on my business.
Should I pick the Vikings because of that? No, I'm sticking with the over. It's too easy to over in that game.
I'm surprised you're not going full JJ.
Oh, I'm going JJ. Vikings are going to
I
win.
am, and I don't even think they're going to be there. Houston, our last game that we picked, Texans at Rams. I have the Rams getting the 3, and you guys are, I'm sorry, Joe's taking the over 43.5. Steve is taking the points with Houston.
Yeah, Texan.
Did we ever disclose our Super Bowl picks?
No,
I don't think
I
we
don't think
did.
so.
You want to do it right now?
Yeah. Who wants to start?
I'll start.
Okay.
I will admit I've changed in the last 7 hours.
Wow.
AFC has been solid. Give me Buffalo. NFC, my pick was the Vikings, but after further review, I'm going to take the Eagles and be boring. So give me Eagles and Buffalo, and I'm going to take the Bills winning the Super Bowl.
Wow. I'll take the I picked the Bills the last 2 years on this podcast. This is already our 3rd NFL season. So I will do, we've been doing this a while. Yeah, we're averaging about 5 new subscribers per month. By the way, the jersey giveaway, are we extending that?
Yeah, we got to extend it. It
Yes.
didn't work out.
Is it not? Are we not doing a minimum subscriber?
I wanted
Since
700 followers, but we're not going to get there.
Well, since no one's going to be listening this far into it, I think we should do a child small O.J. Simpson. I saw one for about $48.
I'd rather the blood-stained Aaron Hernandez jersey.
That was my second
Can we
pick.
put
can
like
do that.
fruit punch on?
Ketchup?
Yeah, ketchup.
Yeah.
Someone died.
Or
who
no, we
shouldn't
do the scissor cut Eric LeGrand jersey. That's a good one.
Mike.
Yeah. If you want to be more tasteful, maybe like a Brett Favre Falcons, but I like the OJ. Or like I want something useless, like all those pink Tony Romo jerseys the Cowboys used to dole out. You can do one of those, assuming it's a dude.
Yeah.
I don't know. Or maybe they just like pink. I mean, who am I to judge?
I like the OJ.
I had pink hair as my avatar for a bit.
OJ or
so.
Aaron Hernandez.
I was about to say OJ Anderson. That guy's a Super MVP. I think a child small OJ Simpson.
That'd be hilarious. I hope someone hangs that up on their wall if they get it.
Maybe, yeah.
Joe, what do you got for you?
We said an NFL jersey. We didn't say what.
I said an NFL jersey of your choice, but if we don't hit the number, we don't hit the number. Then we send somebody a free gift. Joe, what do you got? Super Bowl.
I have Bills losing their 5th Super Bowl to the 49ers.
Ooh,
Really?
like it.
Yeah. I'm big on the Niners this year. Bounce back. I had the Cowboys last year, so who gives, I'm pretty far off on most things. All right.
Steve?
Yeah, I don't know. I want to pick the Bills like you guys did, but I don't know. I feel like something always gets in their way, and it's hard to do that. You know what? I'm picking Baltimore. I think they're going to get there. Lamar Jackson he's the same thing as Josh Allen. He still has to win his Super Bowl. I think on both sides of the ball, if you want to look at a complete team, Baltimore has it. And you guys are going to think this is wild. Give me the Buccaneers.
I said the 49ers.
Give me the Buccaneers
so
in the
there's
Super
no
Bowl.
way.
Ravens beat the
like it.
Buccaneers. I couldn't pick the Lions.
Right.
The offensive line questions are scaring me.
Yeah, I mean, my original pick was the Vikings, but I just,
You like him more than Steve.
Jump on the JJ bandwagon while you can.
I jumped off it because of him.
Because of what?
Because of him. I don't think he's good enough to get to a Super Bowl.
Eventually it will be.
Maybe.
Hall of
I mean,
Famer.
can I see that in the NFC Championship game? Yeah.
Hall of Famer JJ McCarthy you're talking about. You're talking about NCAA national champ JJ McCarthy right there. You're talking about JJ McCarthy.
So was Tim Tebow.
You're talking about JJ McCarthy, who has won at every level of football. So
two out of the 3. He hasn't won at the NFL yet.
And he will. That's next on his list.
Okay.
Final thoughts, guys. Let's do it.
You guys lead, man. I gave all my thoughts. I just want to watch the game, honestly.
John?
I hope that with teams seemingly taking the preseason games more, I don't know, seriously, that the play to start the season isn't as god awful as it's been the last couple of years, because it's been bad in September.
Yeah. So that's final. Can I give a quick one? I'll try to make it quick.
Go for it.
Is it Michigan related?
No.
Okay.
I hate when people try to plan things and they do a sales pitch. And when I say sales pitch, it's fine to say, hey, like, you want to go to this place? It's going to be cool. Like, it's going to be fun. We'll do this. That's fine. But I'll give you an example. Recently, my buddy wanted to go to the Mets game. I said, let me.
I thought you were talking about Tommy's.
No. That was fine. Charlie wrote, "Do you want to go to Tommy's on Friday?" I said, "Sure." Or I checked my schedule. I said, "Sure." But my buddy wanted to go to the Mets game. I'll give you 2 examples. My buddy wanted to go to the Mets game. I said, "Let me check with Allie." She's away right now. She was on a bachelorette weekend. And then 2 hours later, he texted me. He's like, "Hey, we're gonna get the tickets soon." And I'm like, "Dude, I literally like the Mets game isn't for like another like week and a half. Like I haven't talked to her yet." And then that night he texted me again. He's like, "Hey, do you have a response yet?" And I'm like, dude, like you haven't even given me 24 hours. I told you I would respond when I'm ready to. And then the next morning, I was like, "Hey, we're gonna order the ticket soon." I'm like, at this point, like just like go without me. It's like I don't need to be like peer pressured into something. Like it sounded cool and all, but like being asked every 2 hours. And then my other buddy wanted a response for fantasy football. And I was like, "Hey, let me think on it. I'm in a few leagues and your draft isn't for like another month." And he texted me that day, that night, the next morning, the day after that, the day after that. And I was like, it's just such a turnoff, isn't it? Like, am I the only one who thinks that way?
It's a bit much.
Yeah, when you got a lot of other shit going on.
Yeah.
It's not like we're 20 years old anymore.
Yeah. I mean,
Like you're just starting work again.
a follow up is fine. But once you start becoming like a nag, it's like, oh,
It's not a complete indictment on his character. I just don't appreciate it.
yeah, exactly. Sales pitches. Don't love them sometimes.
Yeah.
Cool. But
Yeah. And Real
That's a
ID
big hit.
is some Big Brother bullshit, and it's hurting friendships because it's preventing people from traveling.
yeah, you guys had fun without me. You guys got to get your Southern on and went to the
Yeah.
Daytona racetrack out there. I don't
No.
know if that's it.
We cried the whole time that you weren't there.
We'll talk more.
If we're being honest.
We'll talk more. I need to find out about that weekend, but we won't talk about it on the podcast. Just know that Joe wore cut up jean shorts and a sleeveless shirt, and he had a straw hat on, and he was ready to go for the racetrack. But
I had my Daisy Dukes.
yeah, but that's a wrap. Mostly football right now. That's all that's on our TVs right now. I'm happy it's back. Thank you to Beckett Mesco for coming on. A Pro Football Focus, talked about fantasy football, talked about a few. I think I asked him about futures as well, so that was cool to hear. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited. It's actually a good slate of football this weekend for the NFL. So we'll see how our picks do next week. But I think next week is when we could possibly go back to our original idea where we do the hour of NFL and hour of college football if you guys wanted to do and kind of break it up through the week. But, there's a lot of possibilities moving forward. But that's it for this week. We'll see you next week. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram. Sometimes I use the Twitter page, so follow us on X as well. The support goes a long way. And this will be on Spotify and Apple. I'm going to start uploading there again. I know Joe will be happy about that. But that's a wrap. We'll see you next week.
Sweet.